Helen Yee here with Eyes on the Game. I'm here at T-Mobile Arena. This weekend is UFC 235. I'm being joined by, love the people just walking by, right? Anthony Smith, you are fighting for the title against Jon Jones this weekend. First off, how's this camp been going for you?
Oh, it's been phenomenal. There was no hiccups, there was no injuries, and it went really, really smooth. I think everything came together and went better than expected.
Now, with this being a title shot, and I'm sure you've been asked this, but have you prepared any differently, or has it felt any different because of that?
No, not really. The structure of the training stays the same. Obviously, the focus on some of the things changes, but I think that changes opponent to opponent. Jon brings a different skill set than most people do. So, there's the focus changes on the techniques, and we put a big emphasis on my strength and conditioning. But as far as the whole structure, it's the same.
Now, looking at Jon, though, what do you think that you possess to be able to beat him that his other opponents, haven't been able to get?
Well, aside from my mindset, I think I bring game-changing power every minute of every second of that fight. I have a rare ability to carry my power late into the rounds, which a lot of people don't. Typically you make it to the third or fourth round, chances of a knockout are probably pretty slim, and that's just not the case with me. I carry my power late. In my mindset, I'm going to pressure Jon Jones, and that's something that not a lot of people do.
Now, would you say that that's going to be a big factor going into this weekend, that the reason is because more mental than technical?
Yeah, I think the fight game is 95% mental. It's all about approaches, and a lot of it is it's a confidence thing, and I'm confident that I possess the skills to beat Jon Jones, and I'm not wowed by him, and I don't care what he's going to do, and it doesn't even enter my mind. I train for the techniques that he brings to the table, and that's it. That's as far as I think about it.
Now, many people do consider him one of, if not the greatest. What do you think?
Absolutely. I think up to this point, Jon Jones is the greatest of all time.
And if you do win the title this weekend, what would that mean to you?
It would mean everything. It would mean that this journey that I've been on for more than 10 years as a pro has been worth it. The ups and the downs and the pain and the suffering and the loss and just I've lost friends and relationships and opportunities and I just haven't even been able to live a normal life. I've been chasing this for so long that nothing else has mattered, and winning the belt off of Jon Jones will make it worth it.
Now, speaking of incredible journeys, obviously a very inspiring story, but this weekend it'll be about 3 years since you made your UFC debut. Is this kind of how you envision, your career in the UFC to be?
No, I didn't really know. I don't really think that far ahead. I just take it one fight at a time and one opportunity at a time, and I don't think I strike anyone as a guy with a plan. So I just
going with the flow, right?
Right. I just take one at a time. I take the bumps in stride, and then after a win, I just look to the next one and who's next and what's next, and then eventually, you're kind of like, oh wow, like here we are, we made it.
Yeah, here we are, 3-0 in the light heavyweight division. How have you felt since you moved up? Obviously, having so much success so far.
I feel phenomenal. I feel so good. I'm happy, and that's really what it comes down to. We can talk for days about the physicality of it and what it's done for my body, but when it comes down to it, I'm just happy. I show up to every training session refreshed. I'm sleeping well. I'm recovering. I'm not calorie deficient. I'm well fed. I'm well fueled, and I can focus in training camp, and I can really pay attention to the things that my coaches are talking about, and then I can get to the fight week and I can have fun. Like, this stuff is fun for me. Like, if I was cutting a bunch of weight, and I'd be miserable and I wouldn't want to talk to everyone, and I'd just be going through the motions and really not paying attention to anything. But I'm enjoying the process, and that's really what this whole training camp has been about, is enjoying the process.
Now, you do mention the mental game being a big factor into your success. So who's a big part of, helping you keep your mental game strong?
There's a handful of people. Mark Montoya, for sure, my head coach. He's just such a mentor to me, and he puts things into perspective and makes sure that you're thinking about the right things. My manager does a good job of that too. It's just putting me in the right place at the right time, mentally. Like, you gotta have different hats in this sport. So, when I'm talking to you is obviously a different mentality than when I'm in training, which is different than when we're getting ready for a big fight or whatever. So, my kids and my fiance really keep me level-headed and keep my feet on the floor. So, some of this stuff could get to you, and could really mess with who you are as a person. And really, my friends and family have done a good job of letting me always be a normal person. Like you get all this attention on you, and everyone wants a piece of you. You kind of well, not even so much the pressure, but you forget that you're an actual person. Like they, even when you're here, they push you around with security and cameras, and you forget that you're just a normal person that does normal stuff. That hangs out in the garage with my buddies and has beers watching football. Like I'm just a regular guy, so my family keeps me grounded and reminds me that, like, this isn't who I am, this is what I do.
But if you do win the title this weekend, what's going to be the first thing that you're going to do or buy?
I just want to go home. That's really when it comes down to it. I got 3 young kids, and this will be my 5th fight in 14 months. And I do my training camps in Denver. So I've been away for a long time. I'm home on the weekends still, but I just want to go home and like I want to win the belt, and I want to go home, and I want to be able to finally maybe like rest for once in my life. Like since I've been 17, I've been chasing this dream, and it's the only thing I think about, and it consumes me. And I'll never be happy until I win this title, and I want to just be able to sit down and maybe for once like not have somewhere to go. I know
and relax and enjoy yourself.
Right, and like maybe for like a week I can not be thinking about the next thing, and just maybe just be happy with where I am for a second, because I haven't been happy with where I am since I was 17.
But has this moment sunk in though, that you're fighting for the title and the new title?
No, not at all. Like I can't. My brain doesn't work like that. I can't allow myself to enjoy where I am because it's not where I want to be, and it's a blessing, but it's also a curse, because you can never actually enjoy your successes, like maybe for a couple hours that night, but like I'm immediately thinking, like as soon as I beat Volkan, it was like, all right, we got to get to Jon. Like I never even enjoyed the Volkan fight. It's the same thing with Shogun. I knocked out Shogun, and I immediately was thinking about the next person. I beat Shogun on the 22nd. I signed the contract to fight Volkan on the 29th. I had 7 days to like sit down for a second, and then I was right back into training camp. So for whatever reason, my brain just won't allow me to be okay with where I am.
But I mean, that is a big reason why you are so successful now. Now, if you do beat Jon this weekend and win the title, what would be sweeter, beating Jon or winning the title?
Oh, winning the title for sure. This has never been about Jon Jones. He just happens to be the guy with the title. That's more of a, like winning the title is like the ice cream. The fact that it's Jon Jones is like the cherry, but the bulk of it is the ice cream. And that's, it's never been about a specific person. It's been about the world title. It was about the world title when I was at middleweight, and it's been about the world title since I've been at light heavyweight. I've never focused on one individual.
But do you feel that you're being underestimated at all?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think the odds show that. But I think the narrative's changed a little bit. I think that it's gone from being the underdog that maybe doesn't belong here to everyone's hoping. Like everyone's. It's almost like they're along for this journey now. Like people are they're starting to believe like maybe he can do it, and that's all I need. I don't need you to absolutely know that I can win the fight. I just want you to be on my side, and give me that 25 minutes of your time, and I promise I'll make it worth it.
But do you think the fight will last 25 minutes? I heard that you've said you plan to knock him out.
I'm going to finish Jon Jones for sure. It's not going to go 25 minutes. That's not my fight style. That's not what I do. I don't plan to eke out decisions and stuff like that. I chase the finish. If it goes 25 minutes, I'm absolutely prepared for that, but I'm not planning on it.
But what round do you plan on knocking him out?
I think it'll take a couple rounds for us to get the feel of each other, but like I'm only going to be able to stay on the leash for so long, like my coaches of course want me to fight smart and not do anything stupid, but I mean, let's just be honest. I am who I am, and that's what got me here, and I'm not going to change what got me to the dance. So, I mean, I'll keep the leash on for a couple rounds, but it's not going to last long.
And what do you hope to prove this weekend?
That no matter where you come from and the mistakes that you've made and the bad cards that you've been dealt, as long as you put your head down and you just keep putting one foot in front of the other, you can do whatever you want. I'm just a normal guy. I'm from small town Nebraska. I shouldn't be here anyways. And I think that I'm proving a lot of people wrong, but I think that the underdogs, whether it be in fighting or just in life in general, can really attach themselves to the story.
Yes, absolutely. And then lastly, any words to your fans?
Tune in March 2nd, and let's go get a world title.